Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again. I'm going to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing a video just giving my thoughts so far on what I think about X-Men Days of Future Past, which will be hitting theaters summer 2014. Alright, so after watching the Wolverine, I've decided to do a few videos talking about the X-Men franchise and what I think about the future of it. So obviously, X-Men Days of Future Past is in production, should probably be wrapping up pretty soon. And then we're going to be seeing it, of course, next summer. So, I like the Wolverine quite a bit. Big fan of X-Men, always have been. The movies, to me, have not been a total disappointment. I really liked X-Men 1 and 2, although I felt like X-Men 1 was a little short. X2 was pretty damn close to perfect. Amazing movie. Maybe the only downfall of it is they didn't add in too many more mutants. I would have liked to have seen a few more different types of mutants in X2, but aside from that, it's probably the best one of the whole franchise. Then you have X3, which is a mixed bag. There are things about it I liked, however, they killed off too many characters, I think. Well, of course, doing doing all three Professor X, who they brought back, yes, but they killed him originally, which was pretty terrifying to actually watch. To see Professor X just be obliterated into pieces was like traumatizing. Then, of course, killing Jean, which is acceptable because she dies in the comics too, so it makes sense. And then, of course, with Cyclops, who seemingly was killed. I think we'll probably see him back in this one. Well, we'll see what happens, because James Marsden, there are rumors that he may be returning for Cyclops in Days of Future Past. I guess we'll have to see what happens with him. But apparently, he decided not to do X-Men in favor of Superman Returns, his role in that. So he passed up Cyclops to play Lois Lane's love interest in Superman Returns. Bad decision. Really, really bad decision. So that being said, hopefully he'll return. We'll see what happens with that. But definitely Professor X is going to be back. Jean, probably at least in Logan's mind, maybe. Hopefully she'll have some kind of a part in it. You know, the Phoenix Rise again, that whole thing. I don't know. I don't know if they'll bring her back, because there'll be a lot of stuff going on, a lot of characters in this movie already. And then you'll have, of course, Halle Berry returning as Storm, and you'll have Magneto, Ian McKellen returning for that. Mystique's going to be in it. We know that already as well. And, of course, we have Trask and the Sentinels. So very excited for that. If you guys have not seen the pictures of the Sentinels yet, feel free to go on Google, type in X-Men Days of Future Past Sentinels. There is a picture posted from Comic-Con of where they showed one of the Sentinels' heads, and they look really cool. They're kind of like a modern age type Sentinel in the comic books, where they've, in a lot of ways, the Sentinels have been shrunken down depending on what you read. Back in the old school days, they were always humongous. But over time, there's different types of Sentinels, different iterations, and we do have ones that are smaller and very powerful. So it sounds like we're going to be seeing Sentinels like that. Judging by the size of the Sentinel's head compared to a guy that's standing pretty close to it, it looks like they're probably going to be about somewhere around, I don't know, 10, 11, 12 feet tall, which will be cool to see. And the fact that they're actually using some kind of, practical effects for them, I like a lot, to, reduce the amount of CG they need for the Sentinels. Hopefully they won't be mostly CG, they'll be mostly practical, because that'll look cooler if they're able to do it. So we'll see what happens with that. But either way, very excited to see the Sentinels in an X-Men movie. Can't wait to see Days of Future Past. I'm interested to see how they're going to deal with the time travel. We know Bishop is going to be in it. How much time travel will be involved in the movie, and basically what's going to happen with that, how they will bring in the alternate reality or alternate future, and which character is going to be visiting or doing the time travel, these types of things. As far as I know, Cable has nothing to do with it. Cable's not in it yet. But they're going to be doing an X-Force movie, apparently. That's rumored anyway. We'll see if it actually gets made. That would be cool to see. But Bishop, for sure, will probably be our time traveler. We know Peter Dinklage is going to be in it as Puck, which is awesome. Game of Thrones fans are going to love that. That'll be sweet. And I think that's most of what we've seen so far up to this point. So I am stoked for Days of Future Past. It's probably my most anticipated movie to see in 2014. I was just looking it up before filming this, and I actually just realized that X3 came out in 2006. So it'll be 8 years between the 2006 release and the 2014 release of Days of Future Past. Whether or not you want to consider, X-Men Origins Wolverine, or you want to consider First Class as part of it, the prequels, I mean, I guess you could, but I don't know. For me, it feels like it really has been 8 years since they did it. So I'm really glad to see that most of the cast is willing to return. I was pretty certain there that Patrick Stewart said that he would not do any more X-Men movies, so I'm glad he changed his mind on that. I remember that being reported after X3, which is one of the reasons why they killed him, I think, was because he refused to do any more after. So glad to hear that he finally decided he's going to return, and Ian McKellen's going to return as Magneto, because they're both amazing to have. I mean, without Professor X, do you have the true X-Men? I mean, I don't know. If you don't have Professor X and you don't have Cyclops, you have like Wolverine in the X-Men. I don't know. I don't know. For me, my favorite X-Men, you got to have at least Professor X. If you want to take Cyclops out, okay, whatever, that's fine. But hopefully we'll see him come back in this movie too. I guess we'll see how it goes. I'm anticipating him to come back because we never saw his body in X3. So I do think there's obviously a potential. And I think if this movie does really well, we could actually see another X-Men movie a couple years after it. Hopefully it won't be a Wolverine standalone movie though. I think I've had enough of those, unless they can do Omega Red. Then I'm down. I'll be in it for that. Anyway, can't wait for the Sentinels. Can't wait to see how it all plays out, and have very high expectations for this one. Maybe too high. Hope it's not a letdown. Anyway, wanted to get my thoughts on it. Let me know what you guys think about X-Men Days of Future Past. Whether or not you think it's going to be any good. I think it's going to be amazing. I just can't wait to see it. Especially, I mean, it's been 8 years. That's a long time. It won't be like between X2 and X3 where there's a few years and then they make the next one. It's been a long time. I mean, it's been a long time since we've seen the cast together. So that's going to be really nostalgic and really cool to see them together. I'm glad the X-Men franchise is still alive. I hope that in 10 years or something like that, with the Avengers, we get this kind of dedication to it, where we have all these different movies. Like 3, 4, 5 different team movies. Because that'll be amazing if they can do the same thing they did with X-Men with Avengers. They're definitely off to a great start. I'd have to say the Avengers 1 is better than X1. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I love X1, but still. Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. Anyway, I'll call it here. That's it for this video, guys. I'll see you for the next one. This is Trev, and I'm saying peace.